Hi, I'm Pooja. I'm a women's leadership and executive coach, and what follows is today's coaching insight. Thanks so much for watching. I'd like to see you be more strategic. Have you ever gotten that feedback from a manager or a leader? Perhaps you're at a level where you are a manager of individual contributors and you want to grow and move to become a manager of managers. So usually it'll sort of be the senior manager to become a director, or it could be a director to get to the VP level. And often when we get feedback, it's like you're doing your job great, your team is doing a fantastic job, you're delivering on everything. But for you to get to the next level, I need you to be more strategic. Now, you may be sort of frustrated to be like, okay, what does that mean? And it is sort of what you would expect. They want you to think bigger picture. They want you to be at the 20,000-foot level and sort of say, okay, looking from above, what do I see? It's less about sort of executing on a vision and more about getting into the direction of being able to set and create that vision yourself. All right, so that makes sense. Big picture thinking, see around corners. What are the ways to sort of figure out how can we do our job better? Should we even be prioritizing on these projects? But then you're going to say, where do I get the freaking time? You're already probably overworked, probably putting in late hours and maybe even weekends to sort of execute and get done on the deliverables that you are responsible for and that your team is. Add to that, you're developing and coaching people on your team for them to grow, right? So where is the time? Now, the tough thing with this strategic muscle is that it isn't an on or off switch. I can't give you a book to read, and neither am I going to tell you in this video, here's the secret, now you've got it, you're strategic. It is something that you have to put in over time on a consistent basis. Now, the good news is those things are relatively easy to put into place. One of the key things, for instance, would be subscribing to and reading an industry publication. So, read an article every day, 5 minutes of your time, starting small. Not every article will be amazing or pertinent, but you want to get into the habit of sort of saying, what is happening out there? What are other industry leaders talking about? What are the trends? What are the patterns? Given this new year that's emerged, what are we expecting in 2023 to happen, right? And so where should we be focusing? Another way to do this is to set up relationships and chats with people. Now, this is a double win because it's also networking and you building relationships, right? Building your network. But what you need to do sort of is talk to the people sort of that are your peers, that are stakeholders and people in sister departments within your company and people higher up in your company. Because in order for you to be strategic and be able to say, hey, are we even focusing on the right thing? You need to have that right context. And the only way to get the context is to be having conversations with people or be in the room in those big meetings. So what I recommend is get in the habit of setting up, and you can start small, 1 meeting a week, set up a coffee chat, talk to the person about sort of what's keeping them up at night? What's a current challenge their team is facing? What trends, patterns, etc. are they seeing? So let's just sort of review. Number 1 was going to be reading industry articles. Number 2 is going to be setting up chats with people within your company externally in order to gain that greater context. Number 3 is going to be taking the time to think. Now, this will sound nuts, but you can probably admit that we're not doing enough where we're sitting by ourselves and really thinking big picture about what's happening. The first 2 activities will start to inform and make those thinking sessions easier to do. But I basically want you to sit and take 20 minutes to reflect at least once a week on your team and sort of get that sense of what is it that we're focused on? What are our great priorities and mission? Are they aligned with the greater company mission? Does it tie directly to the bottom line? Is there something else that we should be focusing on? Are we doing the highest impact work? This thinking time is critical. And it's not that you'll have all the answers, right? But it's beneficial because even if you come up with questions, that is huge. Getting the awareness of, I don't even know how my team fits into the bigger picture. I don't even know exactly how we hit the bottom line or if there's a way for us to be an even bigger impact. Right? So taking the time to sit and reflect is going to be critical. Now, the most important thing that you need to do in order to do this is make the time to do this. And I know you've already told me, Pooja, I don't have time. What are you talking about? Building this muscle is critical to your career growth. In fact, I do believe it's the number one thing that comes in the way of people breaking through that barrier of going from being a manager of individual contributors to being a manager of managers, is being a strategic leader. Remember, what you want to be able to do is not just execute really well on your vision, but be the person that sets that direction and vision. You want to be that kind of leader. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time.